Hi, my name is Aurelie Gill, and today I'm going to be talking about a persuasive speech on abortion. Abortion is a social problem that we see in today's society that we have to find a solution for it. I will be addressing the serious problem of abortion in our culture that goes against God's value of human life. I will inform you as well and persuade you that pro-life is Christians should encourage and educate women considering abortion to seek other options that preserve the value of God's life. We don't determine that the conception, because life starts at conception. It doesn't start after birth. It starts at conception, and every human being should determine whether they want to live or not. What makes life valuable? When does personhood begin? At conception or after birth? How can we represent a pregnant woman in a way that identifies her as having the only right to make the decision to terminate her pregnancy? Unplanned pregnancies affect nearly half of American women. The act of terminating a pregnancy should be regarded as a kind of mothering rather than non, or anti-mothering decision making. Terminating a pregnancy does not just prevent gestational parenthood, but also lacks any duty to the kid that one day may conceive in the future. The definition of gestational hospitality includes the idea that seeing abortion as a decision affecting mothers means ethics of that decision and may be addressed. Otherwise, the biology of the womb decides the morality of the maternal-fetal connection. And that was a quote of an article on abortion. The act of terminating a pregnancy should be regarded as a kind of mothering rather than anti-mothering. The abortion is an ethical issue that has ended over 52 million pregnancies in the United States, and that is current statistics, which goes against the value of God for human life and duty Christians have to preserve life when possible. So when it comes to people that are not Christian, because as we know, obviously not everybody is a believer, we have a problem, which is abortion, but now we find a solution. There's two solutions that I would like to present today, and that is abstinence and birth control. Ronald Reagan, 1983, he made a statement at one of his speeches for Evil Empire, and he spoke that parents were not allowed to determine or were not notified that girl teenagers were having abortions, were receiving drugs and advice on abortion without parental consent. So, can we stop teenage girls of getting pregnant? No, we cannot. But we can bring a solution, which is to teach them the moral and the values of abstinence, and teach them that they are more valuable than what they think they are. And number two, consent and agree with the birth control, because it's out of our hands what these teenage girls do out there when they come in front with the real world. So birth control, even though it goes against Christian values, but it's also a solution. It's also a problem solution for them, an option for them to take an effect to prevent that. Because if we completely tell them, you will abstinate yourself from having sex and getting pregnant at a teenage or adolescent age, the chances are that they might still do it. So now what do we do with the life that's in their womb at that age? Do we tell them now you have to get an abortion? Or do we tell them have the baby and we'll help you raise them? So birth control also prevents abortion. It helps prevent the abortion because the statistics of today's society, the percentage of teenage girls that are out there sexually active is very high. So abstinence would be number one, to teach these young women, to teach these girls, adolescents, unfortunately it starts at a young age, to teach them the abstinence, teach them God's value, teach them pro-life, pro-choice, and to teach them that the depths of what the consequences are when you choose to be sexually active and get pregnant at a young age to prevent abortion. The last point the last solution and point that I want to talk about today is that person that got pregnant, that baby, you never know what purpose that baby has. There is an Olympist, okay? I forget her name on top of my head, but she is the number one Olympic medalist, gymnast, that her mother was a drug addict and got pregnant with her and was going to abort her, but she didn't. And now she's the number one gymnast in the United States of America. So I hope that these two solutions will motivate you, encourage you, and persuade you to think twice before we do the abortion, or we can talk somebody else out of the abortion, and agree that abstinence and birth control are two solutions that will work for society. Thank you for joining me on this persuasive speech. God bless you.